Cloud Learning's OIC. So today in this video we will be seeing how we can call a service in OIC, how to create the connection, how to configure it within an integration, and how we are going to call it. So for that, from home you have to click on this hamburger symbol, integrations, connections. So here you can click on create. So here you can see all the list of adapters we have in OIC. So you can search for rest, click on it and select. So this will ask you to give the name. So I am giving OIC Rest. So basically you have to provide the role for this connection. There are three types of roles: trigger, invoke, trigger and invoke. So first we will use trigger. If you going to use it as the starting point of your interface. Invoke can be used anywhere within the interface. Trigger and invoke you can select if you want to use it both in the start and within the integrations as well. So after selecting that, you can click on create. So here you have to give the connection type. So I am going to give a REST API base URL. This version you can select, and then the connection URL. So in this connection URL you have to just provide the base URL of your OAC instance. So here if you see, I will take this, paste it over here. So this will be the base URL of my connection. So pass your username and password here. Okay. So click on test and click on save. So now what we are going to do is we are going to use this connection which we have created in an interface, and we are going to call a REST service. So this is the REST service I am planning to call now. So what this REST service basically does is it will run a scheduled integration job. So if you see, this is the template parameter. We have to pass the ID. So ID is nothing but your identifier of the integration, pipe value, and then followed by the version. So for example, we will see in our interfaces. So first we will just create one sample schedule based integration. Okay. Invoke interface. So basically what will be the ID now? So this will be the identifier followed by the pipe symbol, and we have to provide the version name. So this will be concatenated to form a ID. So I'll click on create. So we have created a scheduled integration. So we will just simply use this to assign. We will create one variable. We will mark it as success whenever this integration got triggered successfully. Okay, so for that I'll give the name as assign success. Clicking on create. So here I am providing the value as success. So we will get to know this in the payload. Validate, close, validate, close. And if you can see, there will be one error. So whenever we create an integration, we have to provide a tracking variable for it. So this value we will be seeing it in the monitoring page. So here we will select the start time. It will work both ways. We can directly drag it from here to here, or you can just click on it and click on this button, so it will insert the value over there. So in the tracking name you have to provide the tracking variable name, invoking schedule integration. So basically we can see this name in the monitoring. So I will click on save and I will save this interface. So now we will create one another interface which will invoke this integration internally. Okay, so I'll click on this activate. So now this integration is activated. I will store the ID somewhere. So this will be the ID we will be passing for the REST service. So this ID for your use case you can store it in a variable or you can get it from a lookup. So based on your requirement you can change those things. So I will click on create now. We will create one schedule based integration which will call the another interface which we created now using a REST based service. So this service I will name it as trigger REST. I will click on create. So here first thing we have created one connection. So that connection name is OIC Rest. We have to select that one only. OIC Rest. Okay. So we already have the base URL. Okay. We have provided that in the connection. So now here we have just have to provide the endpoint URL only. So in the endpoint URL, I will just take it from there. Paste it over here. Select the operation as post. I will configure this endpoint. So this interface is just not providing any response, so this we can uncheck. So we'll just invoke it from there. Okay. So the template parameters, what all is there in the endpoint URL, it will come here automatically. So we have to just click on next, next, and done. So now since this is created, we will just use the mapper and we will assign this value over there. I am selecting it all. So here if you see, you can open it. Right, click create target node. Click on the settings icon. You can just paste it in a quotes. So this value we have assigned now. Validate. Click on close. So we will also add the tracking variable. Trigger rest. I will save this integration and then I will activate this also. Activate. So you have to click on this run and submit now. So this will basically submit this integration. So click on this instance ID. It will directly take you there. So you can cancel this. So if you see, right, so this integration, what it does is it triggers the another one, invoke scheduled integration. So this is how you will use an REST service to call an integration to run and schedule integration. Okay, so this is the response code what we have got, 204, which means it ran successfully. So if you see now, so this is the base URL what we have provided in the connection, and this is the endpoint URL which we have provided in the adapter with an OIC. So these everything will combine together to create an endpoint URL, and this will be passed while calling the REST API. So here in the message send, you can see the value we have provided in the mapper. It will be present over there. So this is how it works. So if you see now, this integration got triggered, and we will see the output of that integration as well. So if you see, this integration got triggered and we have assigned the message as success. So this you can modify according to your needs and requirements. So that's it, guys. If you have any doubts, you can leave it in the comments, and please subscribe to this channel if you find this content useful, and for more updates regarding OAC. Thank you.